Here's what happens when you're a frickin' Karen. This lady's about to board a flight. She storms up to the counter and is waving her phone in the agent's face. Hi, yeah, I paid for priority and that better mean something good. Well, the desk agent said, ma'am, yes, this is economy plus, so you'll be boarding in group 2. Just a few minutes, okay? Now, boarding hadn't even begun yet, but this lady loses it. I'm pretty sure I paid for a better plane ticket. You know what? I have so many followers, I'm gonna ruin you for this. This airline sucks. That's fine. Okay, I don't care. Just step back. Now, here's the thing. She threatens that she's gonna make a terrible video about the airline to ruin their reputation or to get this person fired, but no one cared. The thing is, that desk agent was actually gonna upgrade somebody to first class because there was one first class seat open. But now, it definitely wasn't gonna be her. Sir. Oh, yeah? What boarding group are you? Now, he's saying this loud enough for the lady to hear. Group 6. Well, it's your lucky day. I'm upgrading you to first class. And ma'am, I'm downgrading you to group 6. Now, this entire time, a bunch of other passengers were watching this thing go down. They were invested, and they cheered. Stop clapping! Screw you! And she threw a fit, and she was thrown out of the airport. Good. It's senior year, middle of class, when all of a sudden people hear, look, a horse! People step out into the hallway and they see it. There's a horse just trotting down the hallway. The principal gets on the intercom and is like, everybody stay in your classrooms. Yeah, nobody listened. Kids are pouring out trying to see. They got their phones out. Yo, whose horse is that? The funny part is this one teacher, he encouraged it. He told one of the kids in his class, hey, Billy, come here. Yeah, what's up? Dude, I dare you to go ride that horse. Okay. So now you have this horse trotting down the hallway, a bunch of students standing to the side, filming it, and this one kid jogs up and hops on the horse. People are losing their minds, and at this moment, the horse is heading right for these big doors in the edge of the school, and students run up and they open the doors. That's when the kid who jumped on the horse is like, go! And he gallops right outside the school. Now, the school was right next to these farms, so that's obviously where the horse came from, but this kid just goes. He's now outside of school on this random horse that somehow got in, galloping around fields of corn. And honestly, that would be the best day of school ever. Here's what happens when your coach smashes your phone. This school's basketball coach was pretty intense. All right, huddle up, everybody. Time for team talk. It was one day after practice, and everybody was huddled up by the coach for like a regroup thing. But this kid named Johnny was on his phone. Hey, Johnny, come on, man. This is team huddle. Give me your phone right now. Johnny hands it over, thinking he's just gonna get a lecture. Fine. Coach takes the phone, walks straight into the equipment room, and slams the door. And then everybody hears it. The sound of smashing, cracking, screaming from the coach. Johnny's stomach drops. His phone was brand new. His parents saved up for 3 months to get it for him for his birthday. He's shaking. He's almost crying. The coach walks back out, holding a mangled piece of metal and glass. Here's what happens when you're not paying attention, kid. Johnny notices something immediately. The mangled phone was way too light. He flips it over and realizes it's not even real. It's a dummy phone from the school drama department. Your real phone's in my office. Maybe now you'll lock in during team time, okay? From that day on, Johnny left his phone far away in the locker during practice. Dude, that coach is kinda awesome. His little brother took video games so seriously. Every time he lost a match, he would lose his frickin' mind. What the? This sucks! Stomping around, throwing things, and the room right below him was the older brother's. Dude, shut up! His ceiling fan would literally be shaking every time his little brother would lose it. And this went on until 2, sometimes 3 in the morning. Now, he tried asking him all the time, bro, can you please be quieter? Dude, it's lagging and I lost the game, this sucks. So he had to get creative. He logged into the house's Wi-Fi router settings on his phone. And whenever his brother began stomping or yelling or throwing things, he would change the Wi-Fi password. Just one character. Here it goes. Well, when you do that, everything in the house would disconnect. He would wait about 20 seconds and then he would change the password back. Then things would reconnect. Now at first this made his brother even more mad because the game would just be cutting out in the middle of it. But after about a week something interesting happened. Because every time he would stomp his feet or throw something or yell, he realized the game would get weird or disconnect entirely. So it's like Pavlov. Eventually he just stopped crashing out altogether because subconsciously, crash out means Wi-Fi bad. And finally, his older brother was able to get his well-deserved rest. I'm a genius.
Tips to save your life if you're ever being kidnapped. First obvious tip is to fight back. If someone's trying to kidnap you, you should obviously try to hit them in the face. Make a fuss, a lot of noise. Try to get the attention of people around you. Instead of yelling help, shout fire! Fire! There's a fire! People seem to respond to that pretty frantically. If you're in a moving car and you're able to open the door, just jump out in a populated area. You might break your arm or your leg, but at least somebody will see you doing it. Or you could just crash the car. Grab the steering wheel and yank it. But again, do it in a populated area. Yes, you might be hurt, but like I said, there's people around. They could save you. Now, if you're locked in the trunk, feel around for a release latch. Some cars have them, and you can escape that way. If you can't find the release latch, try to find the wires connected to the taillights. Pull those out. That will cause the back lights to go out, and it increases the chances of your capture being pulled over by the police. And that's a good thing. Anyway, best of luck out there. I hope none of you get kidnapped, but if you do, now you know. People being absolute jerks. This impatient driver was in a rush and ended up rear-ending an ambulance, causing a traffic jam and forcing the ambulance to stop with the patient still inside. These two brothers were having a beautiful moment when they finished building a pyramid out of beer cans, but then someone in the stands decides to destroy it by throwing a ball at it. Come on. And lastly, this grandma who was so mad that she had to destroy the TV. Think she went a little too far. That's messed up. Crazy ways people tried to get revenge. A woman from China, who we only know as Lu, found out one day that her now ex-boyfriend was cheating on her. And she was incredibly angry. So she hatched a plan to get revenge on him. She got in his car, turned it on, and started driving. She then proceeded to blow every single red light that she could in an effort to rack up so much money in tickets. Such a dangerous and diabolical plan. Well, it didn't work out as she had hoped. She was stopped and then arrested. Nice try. Jobs that don't exist anymore. A lector. Lectors were hired to read to large rooms of factory workers as they worked their days away. They were sometimes even hired by the workers themselves because they wanted entertainment so bad. Nowadays, people just listen to the radio. Pin setters. Pin setters were usually young boys working for cheap, and all they would do was reset bowling pins after a bowling ball hit them. Today, bowling alleys just use machines, obviously. A knocker-upper. And no, it's not what it sounds like. These people were hired to make sure others woke up for their jobs on time. They would use long sticks, rocks, and clubs to knock on their windows to wake them up. This job didn't pay well at all, and it was usually done by people who were incredibly desperate for money. And lastly, lamplighters. These guys used long poles or ladders to light, douse, and refuel street lamps. Oh, how times have changed. The worst teachers of all time. This person's first grade teacher was named Mrs. Davis. One time, he had a messy desk. It was one of those desks where the top flips up and you can put all your stuff in there. The teacher saw how messy his desk was, so she walked over to him, picked up his desk, and dumped everything that was in there right on top of him. She then made him clean all of it up, while the rest of the class watched. That's a pretty intense thing to do to a first grader. Story number 2. This person's second grade teacher was named Mrs. Fowler. She used to throw chalk at the students, threatened to lock them in the cupboard, she would punish them for not writing in cursive, and she refused to let any student use the bathroom in her class, which resulted in tons of kids peeing themselves. She kind of reminds me of this character. And the last story. In 6th grade, this person had a math teacher who spent the entire year talking to a small group of students about Animal Crossing on the GameCube. Well, at the end of the year, every single person in that class got an F, except the 5 students that were in her Animal Crossing fan club. The people that failed had to go to summer school.
The school store only opened on Fridays. Why is it closed 4 days a week? Budget. Convenience. Whenever somebody asked, they basically just told them to shut up. Well, this kid had a genius idea. He went to Costco, like most of my stories begin, and he bought a bunch of stuff. Everything that the school store sold. But he bought them in bulk, and he brought it to school. And he began running a school store out of his locker every single day. Chips, candy, drinks, the exact same brands as the school. Bro, how do you have all that? Costco. And his locker was in the band hallway, so it was separate from all the regular kids, if you will. And hey, that's not an insult. I was a band kid myself. But he sold these items for cheaper than what the school sold them for. And business immediately began booming. The band hallway was bumping every day. People were lining up, just hanging out around him. He had a very strict discretion rule where keep us in the DL. If you snitch, I'm gonna have my buddy hunt you down and beat you up. And I'll do it too. And he would do it too. But the thing is, nobody snitched. This kid's moving volume. That first week was legendary. Well, Friday hits, and the school opens up their store, but nobody's there. There's no line, there's nobody waiting, nothing. The lady running it's like, what is happening? And it stayed like that for a while. Eventually, an investigation was launched, and the principal called this kid into the office. You've been running an unauthorized business. No, it's free market competition. You're undercutting school pricing. With respect, sir, you guys are overcharging, and I'm providing students with actual affordable value. But you can't sell food on campus. Then why can't the school? Because we have these safe, good brands. I have the same brands bought from Costco. He gave the kid attention that day, but the kid didn't stop. He kept his business moving. It was this battle between the school and this kid. Eventually, the school got tired of this, and they decided to lower the school prices to 10 cents cheaper than the prices this kid was selling at. Well, the kid was happy. I'm retiring. He retires. A freaking hallway legend. He was the guy that made the school lower their prices, and the school even opened up from Wednesday to Friday now. And to that, my friends, I say, you gotta respect the hustle. They're going on a family trip, and their flight is at 5 in the morning. That's so early, Dad. It's just for 3 days. Pack your backpack. You'll be fine. Backpack. He nods. He packs his backpack. His parents don't check it. They assume he's got it. Well, fast forward to the next morning. They're standing in the security line. Shoes off, laptops out. The dad's stressing. I'm stressing. The kid steps up to put his backpack in the conveyor belt, and he tells the security guy, there's a surprise in there. The guy's like, excuse me? There's a surprise in there for everybody. Hey, yo, what? At this point, the security guard's like, yo, what the heck does this kid have in his backpack? They pull the kid to the side, they pull the backpack away. The mom is like, oh my God, what did you pack in there? You'll see. The security guard unzips the backpack. His face changes. Son, what did you pack? You, come here. Okay, what the heck is this? Inside the backpack was dozens and dozens of rubber duckies. Tiny, bright yellow, each one wearing a different outfit. Sir, ma'am, your child packed about 200 rubber ducks. You can have one. So can your friend. Everybody can have one. Everybody around starts laughing, and the kid passes out these rubber duckies to as many people as he can. And honestly, that is super wholesome. This school library charged 50 cents per page to print. This is freaking highway robbery. Students were furious, but the school did not back down. That's when one student decided to act on this. He bought a high-speed wireless printer, shoved it in his backpack, and he set up shop at the back of the library during his free period. He created a burner email address and he told everybody, email me your essays or whatever you want to print, it's 10 cents per page, no questions asked. And business was absolutely booming. Word spread pretty quick, and his email was stocked. And he printed out every single order that came in. He was undercutting the school by 80%. He was making decent cash. He was like the freaking Wolf of Wall Street at a library. Eventually, the librarians caught on, and they tried to suspend him, actually. But he just said, if you suspend me, I'll make a huge deal about you guys charging 50 cents per page, and I'll take it to the freaking news. Well, they kind of panicked, and they lowered the prices back to 10 cents per page. But that kid, what a legend.
These hallways are what nightmares are made out of. This exit sign gives this hallway a super creepy look. This balloon is sus. If I ever saw that, I would head right back to the car. Nope. This hotel hallway floor seems completely unnecessary. Imagine being lit and heading back to your room at 3 a.m. and you see this. Talk about a tumble. I don't know where this is, but it gives me a very bad feeling. And this one, I think it's just a water leak, but that floor looks like a puddle of blood. Oh no. Famous death row meal requests. John Spankelink was convicted on 1 count of murder and armed robbery. He was put to death in Florida State Prison in 1979. However, for his last meal, he denied food. He was a heavy drinker, so all he wanted was 1 flask full of Jack Daniel's whiskey, which he drank and shared with the prison superintendent. Timothy McVeigh was the American terrorist behind the Oklahoma City bombings, which killed 168 people. He was sentenced to death, and for his last meal, he requested 2 pints of mint chocolate chip ice cream. Peter J. Minial confessed to his crimes of murder and robbery, and he said he was ready to pay the price. He was sentenced to death, and his last meal request was insane. He got 20 beef tacos, 20 beef enchiladas, 2 double cheeseburgers, a pizza with jalapenos, fried chicken, spaghetti with salt, half a chocolate cake, half a vanilla cake, cookies and cream ice cream, caramel pecan fudge ice cream, and a small fruit cake. And lastly, James Edward Smith. And when it came down to his final meal request, all he wanted was a lump of soil. Black markets, kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. When he was in 6th grade, there was a group of friends that would hang out all the time. And one day, as the group was sitting around, they noticed one of their friends eating chalk. Like, this dude was straight up eating chalk. They asked him why he was doing it, and he said, I don't know, I like it. And then they had an idea. It's incredibly weird that this kid was just eating chalk for fun, and they realized that other kids would probably want to see him eat chalk. So they would go around the school, in the hallways, during lunch, and they would tell kids, hey, if you give us $2, our friend here will eat chalk and you can watch it. And the crazy part is, people actually paid to watch this kid eat chalk. They made over $500 before someone snitched. Then the principal shut their business down. Random things you probably never realized. If you take the word okay and you flip it around, it looks like a stick figure. See? The lines in the Spotify logo are not straight up and down. They're a bit tilted to the side. This one kind of messes me up. I can't unsee this. We call the head cook at a restaurant chef because in France, where restaurants originated, chef meant chief or boss. And last but not least, in the Toy Story movies, whenever the toys blink, they never blink both eyes at once. It's always kind of like this.
Can't believe we forgot to... Hey, what's up, boss? I was walking in today and I noticed our sign still says Happy Thanksgiving. It's not Thanksgiving anymore. Can you go change the sign out front? Something about the new year, maybe wishing you all the best in 2021. I'm gonna do it because I love you. All right, Bill, I'm taking off. I have a lasagna to make. Have a good night. This math teacher was a total freaking nightmare. She required every student to have a specific scientific calculator in her class. The calculator cost $100, but if you forgot yours, too bad. She wouldn't lend you one and you were not allowed to share or borrow off of anybody else's when you were in the classroom. Well, one Saturday, a junior named Marcus was biking in his neighborhood when he spots a massive garage sale. That looks sick. He goes up and takes a closer look and he finds an absolute gold mine. This, tech hoarder was selling a box of 15 perfect condition graphing calculators for $1 each. Well, Marcus didn't even blink. He bought all of them. I'm gonna buy all of them. He dropped $15, took everything home, and he realized he was sitting on over $1,000 of technology. Well, the next Monday, he brought these to school to start a little business. He would stand right outside of that rude teacher's classroom door. It would be 5 minutes before the bell, and he would rent them out to students that didn't have these calculators. Hey, psst, you need one? I know she's tough. $5 to rent for the class period. Oh my God, thank you so much. There's a test today. I was gonna fail it. I got you, dog. After a while, word spread and people would just message him like, hey, got any calculators today? I need one for the class. Yeah, I got a few left. I'll meet you by the bathroom in 10. The teacher eventually said that students could no longer rent these calculators, but that rule never really stuck because at that point, she's just using any excuse to fail students. This kid retired at the end of the year, and he sold those calculators to people that would buy them for half the price. But he swears he saved a lot of people's grades that year, and that is respect. The ice cream truck pulled into the neighborhood. Music blasting, kids are sprinting up. One little girl ran up with some crumpled up cash in her hand. A couple minutes later, she walks back to her dad. She's not happy. Hey, what happened? I gave him the $10 bill you gave me, but he didn't give me change back. He only gave me a lollipop. He didn't even give me my ice cream. What? Yeah, and then he just drove away. Now, this dad was so mad. Who would frickin' do that to a little kid? So the next day, what that dad did was he drove to Costco and he bought a bunch of boxes of ice cream bars and ice cream treats and brings them back to the neighborhood. He set it up in coolers in his driveway and wrote a big sign. Free ice cream. Come up, everybody. Everybody is now with their kids in this dude's driveway enjoying some free ice cream. The ice cream truck comes. Come on, kids. But no one even entertains the guy. He just left. The next day he came back, but this dad was still doing the free ice cream thing. Nobody ever went to that ice cream truck again in that block, and he never returned after a while. Good. What a freaking jerk. This school had the stupidest rule. If it was a super hot day, kids couldn't play at recess. They had to just sit down. But here's the thing that didn't make any sense. They weren't sitting down inside or in the cafeteria or anywhere. They still went outside. They just couldn't play. Okay, it's a hot one today, kids. Have a seat. And they would make the kids sit on this black pavement. Ma'am, why can't we just sit inside? It's so hot out here. 'Cause it's recess, duh. 20 minutes later, the bell would ring, recess would be over, kids would stand up, they're sweating profusely, and they would stumble inside. Now, I guess it's better than running around in the heat. You know, kids could pass out. But still making them sit on the ground in the same heat is kind of just as messed up. And they weren't allowed to go inside. I think this was in Arizona. That makes sense, I think. He was 11 years old and he built the best sandcastle of all time. Yes, it's beautiful. It had walls, tower, a drawbridge. There was seaweed that was decorating it. It was pure art. Well, once he finished, he stepped back to admire it. And here comes this menacing teenager. Nice sandcastle, loser. And just kicks the crap out of it. Sandcastle completely destroyed. Yo, what the heck? The teenager left. This kid was upset, but he decided to take action. So he rebuilt, bigger, stronger. And this time, he buried the heaviest, pointiest rock right in the middle of the sandcastle. Covered it perfectly. You wouldn't be able to tell it was there at all. And now this sandcastle looked even better than the first one. It's perfect. But as he suspected, the menacing teenager came by again. Oh, so you're just gonna rebuild it and think I wasn't gonna come back? The teenager pulled his leg back, he's getting ready, and he just kicks it. Remember the rock the kid buried in there? Destroyed this kid's foot. Oops, shouldn't have kicked it, man. The kid limped away, crying to his mom. Some people gotta learn the hard way. Hey, awesome.
What my old carnival job taught me about carnivals, part 3. Don't get me frickin' started on the pick a duck game. Y'all know this, right? You pick up a duck, you flip it over, and it'll tell you if you want a small, medium, or large prize. Well, where I worked, every single one of the ducks was a small prize duck. We didn't put any large prize ducks in there, but they would give us a large prize duck to put in our pocket, just in case someone asked us, do you guys even have any large prize ducks in here? Then we'd be all sneaky. As we're flipping them over, we'd toss the duck in there, and be like, yeah, see, there's one right here. Shady stuff. Black markets kids ran in their schools, a follower's submission. When she was in 3rd grade, she would bring her pet turtle to school a couple times a week, and she would charge kids $5 a minute to hold the turtle. And people actually paid. Business was doing pretty well, so one day she upped the charge to $10 a minute, and kids were still paying. But she was starting to get money hungry, so she tried to up the charges to $15 a minute to hold her pet turtle. And one kid had enough of her raising the price, so he told the teacher, and the business was shut down. She made $700 in total. Most dangerous toys of all time. This is the Snack Time Cabbage Patch doll. It was released in the 1990s. It came with a bunch of snacks like carrots and french fries that if you put it in its mouth, it would chew on it. Well, this doll had the tendency to chew on kids' fingers and hair. One family even said that this doll chewed on her daughter's hair and kept chewing until it got up to her ear until they were finally able to turn it off. They stopped making these and refunded 500,000 people. You can say this doll had one heck of an appetite. The most pointless phone app of all time. In 2008, a man named Armin Heinrich released this app on the App Store. It was available for one day before it was taken down. The app is called I Am Rich, and people were able to buy it for $999.99. But this app had no real value. It was described as a work of art with no hidden function at all, and its only purpose was being able to show people that you were able to afford it. And this is what the app did. When you opened it, this red jewel would pop on the screen, and that would be it. But if you pressed the little info button on the bottom right, this mantra would pop up that said, I am rich, I deserve it, I am good, healthy, and successful. The entire time this was on the App Store, only 8 people bought it, which made Armin $5,600. Honestly, that's not bad money for such a stupid app. If you had the money, would you have gotten this? Send this video to somebody that loves their pets. How's it going? I'm gonna show you a picture. It's a picture of this guy from Australia's pet. The pet is a kangaroo, but the kangaroo is different. I didn't even know they came this big. My question, if this kangaroo was up for adoption, would you adopt it as your pet? Alright everybody, I just got the call from corporate. You can now order McDonald's online. I need one of you to go change the sign out front, please. Bill! How's that smell? Good. Bill, I want you to change the sign for me. Can you handle that? I would die for you. Alright team, I'm heading home. I have a date with a chicken pot pie. Here's what happens when you sell fake hall passes for 2 weeks at school. This kid Tyler was running an entire business. He'd been selling hall passes for basically anybody that wanted to skip class. $5 a pop. The passes, they looked legit as well. Official watermark, teacher signatures, the whole deal. Everyone thought he had some kind of connection to the front office, and he wouldn't sell too many at one time because he didn't want the school to get suspicious, so it was a limited supply he would sell per month. Well, this quiet girl named Maya
Hi, I'm Maya. She'd been watching this whole thing go down for weeks. She never said anything, she just observed. Well, one day she sees Tyler drop one of the passes on the ground. So she picks it up, looks at it for a second, and then puts it in her pocket. Now, she wasn't gonna say anything about it. She's like, this is none of my business, let him do what he's doing. Well, the next day, Tyler tries to sell her a hall pass. No thanks, I'm okay. But then Tyler starts clowning her in front of the whole class. You're such a teacher's pet. You too scared to get one of these? Well, here's what Tyler didn't know. Maya's mom literally works for the school office, and she's the one that designs all official school documents. So Maya knows exactly what a real hall pass looks like, down to the specific font and paper stock. Now, like I said, she wasn't gonna snitch on him, but now she is. She takes the hall pass that she found, goes to the principal, and breaks down everything wrong with it. The font is off, the signature's been traced, and this is the wrong paper. This is basic paper from Staples. Principal takes a few days to investigate, pulls up some security footage, and catches Tyler selling these hall passes multiple times. Tyler got a 2-week suspension, and Maya didn't say a word about it to anybody. Nobody knew she snitched. She just went right back to being quiet. That's why you gotta be careful who you disrespect. Somebody might ruin you. Everybody liked this one guy. Yo, it's like everybody. He was popular, funny, and he was always the center of every single party. So one night, there's this big party at somebody's house, and everybody's there. It's packed, there's music going, people chilling. Yo, this is a killer party, Johnny. Hey, thanks, man. I'm just honored that you're here. But you see, not everybody liked that kid. I hated him. So the kid that did not like him was talking to his friend. I just don't like the guy. Yeah, I don't like him that much anymore either. Dude, I'm in a group chat with him, and look what he's been saying. You see, he gets shown this group chat, and the popular kid is in this group chat talking trash about everybody, even his friends, even the girls he's currently hanging out with at the party. Hey, screenshot these and send me them. Okay. Don't say it was me. So he gets the screenshot, and then he plugs his phone into the HDMI port of the TVs in the living room of this party, and he pulls up all the screenshots. He turns off the music. Everybody, look! And he has these screenshots of all the horrible stuff he said just right there on the TV. Wait, what? No. That's not me. People are mad. No, guys, they're jokes. I'm just joking in these. But it's too late. He had fallen from grace and he was shoved out of that party really quick. The next day he was at school. He went from popular to loser really quick. Hey, that's karma. This is what happens when you get locked in the school bathroom. So he asks to go to the bathroom. He walks down the empty hallway, pushes the bathroom door open, and does his business. But when he's ready to leave, what the heck? The door won't budge. It's like somebody locked it from the outside. He's pushing, pulling, nothing. He checks his phone. Crap, there's no signal in here. Now at this point, he's already been gone 8 minutes. So I guess he does the only logical thing. He looks at the ceiling. He steps on the sink. He pushes open the ceiling tile, and he army crawls through the drop ceiling. Now he thinks he's going towards the hallway, he hopes so, and right when he thinks he's above the hallway, he lifts the tile open, but he falls right through. There you are. Right there was his teacher and the vice principal. What on earth are you doing? The bathroom door was locked, so you climbed through the ceiling? I mean, I couldn't just stay in there, right? Well, you could have knocked or yelled for help. Also, the bathroom's not locked. Here's what happened. When he got in the bathroom, did his business, he was about to leave. And he tried opening the door, but it wasn't the bathroom door, it was the supply closet door in the bathroom. They looked very similar. But he panicked, didn't look around to see if the actual door is right there, so he climbed through the ceiling. You know what? Just come to my office. You're getting detention. And he got a detention for property damage and making terrible decisions.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When you
Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. Every day after school in 3rd grade, she went to a daycare. And this daycare was full of tons of kids that went to different schools. Well, one day she was looking inside the recycling bin for some reason, and she found a Scholastic Book Fair catalog. Those catalogs where you place an order to buy books or school supplies or toys. Well, she found it, took it with her, and every day for a week she went up to the rich kids and told them that there was a Scholastic Book Fair at her school and they can buy stuff from her. Well, these kids did it. They made an order in the catalog and gave her money. She told them they would have their order soon. She then took their money and put it into an envelope. Well, after about a week, she counted the money she made, and it was $300. She was happy with that. And then she put the catalog back in the recycling bin that she found it in.
He's a grown man. afraid of frogs. He can't go fishing. He won't walk near a pond. If a nature documentary shows a frog, nope. If he sees a cartoon frog on a commercial, hey, turn this off. If he's at a pet store, he will not walk down the aisle where the frogs are. I'm not going down there. I'm like, don't make me go down there. And nobody understands it. One night, he's chilling with a friend, and his friend finally asks him, hey, bro, I always meant to ask you, what's your deal with frogs? He laughs it off at first. Then he goes quiet. He says it started when he was 8 years old. It was summer. He was at the pond behind his grandma's house. Him and his cousin were messing around near the water. When his cousin scoops something up, whoa, it was a frog. He then throws it at him. Catch! Before he could react, that frog hits him right in the chest. Splat. And it's stuck there, clinging to his shirt. He slowly looks down and he sees the frog staring right up at him. To this day, he swears that the frog blinked once and said this, "You would look better in a top hat." He freaked out. He shoved that frog off his shirt and he ran home. So yeah, that's what happened. That's so dumb. Obviously his buddy didn't believe him, but he knows what he saw and he knows what he heard. And to this day he is still terrified of frogs. That's nuts. A crazy private school rule. So this private school in a small town had this rule. Nobody's allowed to have curly hair on school grounds. Which, like, what do you mean? But this serious. One day, this new kid shows up at this school. It's his first day. And you guessed it, he has curly hair. Hey, I'm Corey. Oh, Corey. Come with me. The principal takes Corey to her office. She pulls out a hair straightener from her desk, and she begins straightening Corey's hair. When I'm done with you, this hair will be straight. 10 minutes later, Corey leaves the office with a completely different hairstyle. He was incredibly confused and sad. He told his parents, and his parents were ticked off. They complained and complained and complained. But for some reason, this small town, this small school, had a lot of connections, so the rule never changed. Curly hair, not allowed. And that is completely messed up. Have you ever wondered how a middle school science lesson could save an entire building from exploding? This 8th grader named John was sitting in chemistry class learning about natural gas. His teacher explained that rotten egg smell isn't actually natural. They add a chemical called mercaptan so people can detect leaks. Your nose can literally smell it at 1 part per billion. Regardless, John thought this was cool. Hey, that's cool. Well, the very next day, during a science lab in a different science class, he noticed a very faint smell of rotten eggs. He raised his hand and said, "Mr. Stevens, I think there might be a gas leak." Well, the teacher brushed it off and said, "John, that's probably from a different experiment or you're making things up." "No, I'm serious. It smells exactly like what Mr. Zern taught us yesterday." But the teacher told him just to sit down and stop disrupting class, please. So John did something bold. He walked straight to the office and he told the principal, "There's a gas leak in the lab. I'm pretty positive." The principal took him very seriously and he pulled the fire alarm himself and evacuated the entire school. Turns out there was a massive gas leak in the science building. The fire department said that if anybody lit a burner, which they were going to, the whole science wing could have exploded. John literally saved the school because he remembered a lesson from the day before. And yeah, that teacher definitely apologized to him. Big time. That's insane. So this kid gets paired with the laziest person in class for a group project, and he decides to handle it in the most savage way possible. They're supposed to be splitting the work 50-50. 50-50. So he messages his partner one night, "Hey, you want to do the research for the slides?" The next day he responds, "I don't know, you pick what I do." So the guy decides to split it in half. "All right, I emailed you half the slides, send me yours when you're done." Because that sounds fair, but then after that, radio silence. "Yo bro, did you finish?" Nothing. He tries talking to him during school. "Hey dude, gotta go man." The heck? It's the night before the project. "Yo man, are you done?" Partner responds, "Yeah, don't worry about it." Presentation day, they're up third, and this guy's got his part ready to go. Clean, put together. He did his research, he's solid. His partner shows up with nothing. Literally nothing. "Bro, where's your part? I thought we're just gonna wing it." The teacher calls him up. "Okay, let's see what you two have." They stand up and this kid goes first. He goes to his slides. "Okay, so we each did half of the work. I'm gonna go first." He presents it flawlessly. He's confident, well-researched, and then he looks to his partner. "All right, man, your turn." He freezes. The partner gets up there to try to wing it, and he presses the button to go to the next slide. And all the slide said was, this section was assigned to Carlos. Bro, you didn't do it? You didn't do your part? No. He gets full credit. Yes. You get 0. And the kid sat down, proud of himself, while his partner stood up there completely shocked. The rest of the class just laughed. Yo, that's savage.
আপনি যে কি করে আপনার কোনো কমন সেন্স নেই আমার বাসায় কিছু সবাই দেখে ফেলে
রাত 10টায় আমি ফোন দিব আর একবারের বেশি যদি রিং হয় মামা মালটা তো জোস সরি ভাবি তুই পারবি দেখ কিভাবে কই সেটিং মিটিং নাই তো সেটিং মানে বুঝো না পেন্টিরিতি ও তো আমাদের ভাবি হয় ওই হিসাবে আমাদের বিয়ে হিসাব আপনি
আচ্ছা দাঁড়া ওয়েট কর আমাকে একটু ভাবতে দে দেখি কি করা যায় দোস্ত তুই থাক আমি যাই
আমি থাকবো মানে
তুই থাক দোস্ত
রক্ত লাগবে রে রক্ত আসবো না মানে হ্যাঁ তাই তো শুনলাম আসবো না ঠিক আছে দেখতেছি ব্যাপারটা যাও
কি রে তুই কোচিং এ যাস না কেন
দোস্ত আমি কোচিং এ কিভাবে যাব বল এই গুন্ডাটা যে আমাকে ডিস্টার্ব করে তুই দেখতেই তো পারছস ডেইলি আমার পিছনে লাগা থাকে
আমার ভালোবাসার গল্পটা অপূর্ণ রয়ে গেল গলবে পাখির মন গলবে এমন মন্ত্র দেব
এভাবে রাস্তাঘাটে একটা মেয়েকে উত্তক্ত করে আর নিজের গায়ে রক্ত দিয়ে
হ্যালো
হেই হোয়াটস আপ প্র্যাঙ্ক ম্যান
কে
একটু হলেই তো তোমার ফোন হাওয়া হয়ে যেত
তুই তোর ফোন আর কোনোদিন পাবি না
কেন
তোর বাবা তো তোর ফোনটাকে একদম আসার দিয়ে ভেঙে শেষ এমনকি পানিতে চুবাইছে
আউট অফ কিউরিওসিটি হয়তো দেখা করব বাট আই এম নট দ্যাট মাচ ইজি অলওয়েজ রিমেম্বার
আজকে যদি তারা না থাকতো আজকে তোর দিতাম একদম এই খালি স্কার্টেন গার্ডেন
এই যে আপু এসব গার্ডেন ফার্ডেন যায় না আমার ভাই ব্রাদাররা আছে আপনার একদম কামড়ায় দিবে না 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 ব্রো এই যে আপনার ফোন প্র্যাঙ্ক ছিল ব্রো চিল চিল রাকিব ভাই আপনি এসআই রাকিব ভাই না আপনার কথা আমি অনেক শুনছি আপনি কিন্তু মানে বুঝের লোক পেজে তোলেন
এই হোসেন আলী ক্যামেরা
আগেই কইছিলাম আমার বস ফেমাস
হ্যাঁ ভাই একটু যদি ধরতে
হ্যাঁ শিওর
কিভাবে যে কনফার্ম হয়
এটা তো এদিকে না 3 নাম্বার গেট ওইদিকে শঙ্কর গলি বোধহয় গেটের বাইরে আপনি ভুল আসছেন জান
ভুল আসছে কিন্তু আমি কি চিনতে পারবো
ও আচ্ছা আপনি দ্যাট বোরখা গার্ল
চিনতে পেরেছো তাহলে না
আই লাইক গুড গার্লস ফলো কর যা ইফতে কই যায় দেখবি যা সারা জীবনে প্রথম কাউরে প্র্যাঙ্ক করতে যায় নিজেই আজকে প্র্যাঙ্ক হয়ে গেল
মুনিয়া তুমি আমাকে বলেছো যে তুমি তোমার কোনো বয়ফ্রেন্ড নাই
না বয়ফ্রেন্ড না আমি ওর বয়ফ্রেন্ড আমি ওর ফিয়ান্সে ওর সাথে আমার বিয়ে নেক্সট
ও আচ্ছা
আমার জন্য
এটা তোমার জন্য একটা নতুন ফোন দিলাম
এই জন্য তাহলে তোমরা এতক্ষণ নাটক করছো
নাটক না তোমার ফোনটা পুরনো হয়ে গেছে
কেন
নতুন ফোন
আমরা প্র্যাঙ্ক করতে পারি না
একটা ইম্পর্টেন্ট কথা ছিল তোমার সাথে এমন করলে কেমন হয় যদি এই এন্টারটেইনমেন্ট জার্নিতে আমি জয়েন করি তোমার সাথে
আরে বেন সাহেব, নতুন নতুন সম্বন্ধ তো তাই চিনতে পারেন নাই। ওই যে আপনার বান্ধবী তুলি আছে না,
আপনি যে কি করে আপনি তাতে কোনো কমন সেন্স নেই, আমার বাসায় যদি সবাই দেখে ফেলে।
রাত 10টায় আমি ফোন দিব, আর একবারের বেশি যদি রিং হয়। মামা মালটা তো জোস। সরি 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 ভাবি, তুই পারবি, দেখ কিভাবে কই। সেটিং মেটিং নাই তো? সেটিং মানে বুঝো না, পেন্টেরিতি।
সবে তিনটা সেকেন্ড ইয়ারে পড়ি।
সেকেন্ড ইয়ারে এখন ক্লাস 9 এর পোলাও এনে প্রেম করে। মামা মায়া তো অস্থির। এক্সকিউজ মি আপু, এক্সকিউজ মি, আপনার নামটা যদি বলতেন একটু। শুনেন বেন সাহেব, আমার বন্ধু জিসান, ঠিক আছে? আপনার বান্ধবীরে শুনো। মারি নাই তো, শাসন করছি। ভালো লাগে না, একটু মারতেই পারি, তাহলে কিন্তু খুব খারাপ হয়ে যাবে। তুই রবির নামে সুন্দর একটা রিক্সা ডাক। ভাবি চিনিকে আমার বন্ধু জিসান দিচ্ছে, প্লিজ ভাবি আপনি একটু নেন, প্লিজ ভাবি। দেখেন ভাবি, কালকে সারা রাত তোমার আমি কল দিচ্ছি।
সারা রাত? তাহলে আপনি শুনুন আপনার ভালোবাসার মানুষের অতীত বর্তমান। পাগল কোন একদম ঠিক হয় না, ওনার ব্যথা লাগে নাই।
ব্যথা তো বেশি তুহিন।
তুহিনের ব্যথা লাগছে মানে?
বন্ধু তুই চিন্তা করিস না রে, ভাবির মন ঠিকই গলে যাবে। ভাবির মন তো ঘুরবে, কিন্তু